So, now I would like to ask you another question. When and how did your interest in this field started? And if you can tell me a little bit about your personal journey.
My personal journey of the soul, yes. Well, I think my personal journey of the soul started when I was very young. And I was brought up in an environment in England where religion was important. It wasn't overwhelming, but it was important. And at my school, for example, we went to church every single day, and on Sundays twice. The teachings in our school were permeated with religious teachings based on Christianity. And I think I was aware that for some people this really wasn't terribly interesting. But for me, at a very young age, I grasped the essence of it. I grasped the essence of what I called almost Godianity. I was slow to cotton on to what Christianity was about, but I understood God very well indeed. And I also had a lot of musical experience. I was a member of many church choirs and other music, singing other sacred music. And I felt very early on that there was something much bigger than me, something much greater than me that I could tap into. And it wasn't, I couldn't relate to all the words that were being used, but when I read the Bible, I heard the prayers, read the Psalms and so on, I seemed to have the ability from a very early age to understand what was behind all of this. And my interest in the church went on until my early 20s, and then for personal reasons, because the church wouldn't marry me and Maureen, I abandoned the church for a while. And it was in the early 30s when we lived in Africa, and I was working for a British company there in Tanzania, that we had our first experience with yoga on the beach, taught by a German friend, very spiritual guy. And this suddenly, the world, age 32 I think I was, my world blew open with the teachings of yoga and what was behind yoga and the philosophies of the East. And that was the start of the journey. It was interesting too on the story of my interest in philosophy. I remember being interviewed when I was being interviewed for a place at Oxford, that one of the questions was, what books are you reading currently? And I can still hardly believe that I was the answer I gave. And the answer was, well, I'm reading two. I'm reading Darwin's Origin of Species, and I'm reading Plato's Defense of Socrates. And the questioner, the professor, said to me, well, you must be reading these because you knew you were going to be interviewed. And I said, well, no, I've had them out of the library for a couple of weeks, and I didn't know I was going to have this interview at all. So they asked me a few questions about it. So although I can hardly remember it myself, my interest in philosophy was that old. And and I have, through the years, I've had wonderful teachers. We leaned right into Eastern philosophy. We became fascinated with it, and Maureen learned Sanskrit so we could get deeper into the Vedas and to the original texts of Hinduism, of the yoga philosophy, and so on. We became interested in Buddhism, and so it went on. And as you know, you've met us in Thailand at the yoga school there, and before that we had teachers in the West, Kripalu yoga teacher, and before that many others as well. So there are lots of strains, lots of things going on, and always have been. It's absolutely the most important thing in my whole life, in addition to my family, my work, my sailing, my other activities, my music, and so on. But the thing that ties it all together, and always has done, is my interest in spirituality, in philosophy. And I'm so grateful that Maureen shared those same interests. I couldn't have been blessed with a nicer and better partner for me than somebody dynamically interested, so we could debate these things back and forward between the two of us. And because there were two of us discussing these things, we just, by leaps and bounds, we could develop our own understanding. So that's the story. That's my story.
That's your story. You're feeding it off each other.
Yes.
Helping each other grow.
Yes, exactly.
Beautiful.
Real synergy. Yeah. Yeah.
It's beautiful. Long story.
Yeah.
You've been into spiritual path for many, many years.
Yes, a long time now. Yes,
Long
yes,
time now.
yes. But it was something that I had to come to some conclusions. I couldn't just leave it open. I couldn't just take other people's words for it. This was one thing I really had to fathom out for myself. And two, I discovered too that I was living it. And fortunately enough, in my work, I was senior enough to be able to influence the way my company operated. So, for example, operating on aesthetical values as well as ethical values was very important for me. Incorporating a concern for the environment, long before most people understood that the environmental movement started, I was there. And at some of the key moments in history, and put my weight behind the Rio conference and other things, and I brought the debate back to Canada and had top business leaders discussing the impact of environment on business and so on. So this is all part and parcel of the same idea. And so I've been very fortunate in being able to, in my own case, being able to integrate my beliefs, my sincerely held beliefs, into my work and my family life and everything that I do.
Hello my dear friends, thank you so much for watching this video. We really hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions or comments, please let us know in the comment section below, and make sure to like this video, share it if you think anyone can benefit from it, and subscribe to our channel if you haven't, so we can keep you updated on more awesome videos on yoga, mindfulness, spirituality, psychology, etc. Thank you so much.